You may have answered a lot of questions I have with her question.
That's all right. I haven't answered yours.
That's true. I know my passion.
And that would be?
Music.
All right.
But I have a difficult...
All right, now one moment before you go on.
Okay.
Remember also that we talk about the idea of following your passion, following your excitement, and also in this context today, the passion, the desire we're talking about is also for changing core belief. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, continue.
Well, the core belief I want to change is I've been a healer for 15 years, and
All right.
I'm angry.
You're angry, an angry healer.
That's right, Bashar. I'm feeling that anger.
A no-nonsense, knock-down, drag-out, angry healer.
Yes.
All right.
I'm ready to give it up.
Are you?
Yes, I want to, but it's the money. It's
the money.
Surviving.
The surviving. Ooh, not even living. Surviving. Ooh.
And the funny thing is that I'm abundant right now.
I see.
I am being very well taken care of through my husband.
Yes.
But
That's a form of abundance.
Yes. But I want to find self-sufficiency.
Well, go right ahead.
And I want to go for my music. I want to let go of the healership.
Go right ahead.
But
However, I understand you are physical beings. Please pay attention to your true system of beliefs. I know you want to get to the core things and change these, but while you are holding on to certain beliefs, don't short-circuit yourself by moving into something you say is your passion sooner than your belief systems are honestly ready to let you do. Otherwise, you will just wind up jumping off a cliff and suddenly being surprised that you can't fly. As long as you still hold on to the belief that you will not fly, it would be wise not to jump off the cliff. Or at least start climbing down the cliff. As long as you believe your belief systems can support you that far, you can start some level of your passion, but respect where your beliefs actually are, and that simply takes honest self-assessment to find out what those definitions are so that you're not fooling yourself into thinking you're truly ready to live your passion when you yourself have contrary beliefs about that. So it's all right to take your time, is all we are saying, as long as you respect where you're truly at with it. Now, if you really feel that you can take a bigger leap than you have before, then by all means take whatever leap you are comfortable with, but make sure it's simply as much as you possibly can do in the direction of your passion while respecting where you're really at. I'm not saying be hesitant. I'm saying have true recognition of what your beliefs will really allow you to do. Because sometimes when you take that leap and feel that you've gone through an experience where taking that leap has suddenly smacked you in the face like a brick wall, that experience itself is for the purpose of putting you in touch with other beliefs you may still be holding on to that didn't really allow you to take the leap you wanted. And so that's okay too. You follow me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just use the experience that way and you will be using it, let's say, appropriately. Nevertheless, you want to do your music instead of your healing, although there isn't necessarily that much difference between the two, is there?
I'm not sure yet.
Well, is not healing vibration?
Yes.
Is not music vibration?
True.
Does not music heal?
True.
Well, you can still be a healer and be a musical one. Maybe you're just angry with yourself for not being the kind of healer you would actually rather be. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes. Well,
right.
I'm also experiencing guilt with that because...
Let's pile on the negative beliefs. Let's make it that much more difficult. Not only am I angry that I'm not doing what I want, but I'm also guilty about not doing it. Bad me, shame on me. Let's really pile on the difficulty level instead of just doing what I want. Let's spend more time processing all the things I want to judge about myself. Now, you understand, I'm not making fun of you, yeah?
I understand.
All right. However, sometimes humans are so easy to make fun of. We just can't help ourselves. You know, because we don't have TV. You put on quite a show, all of you, and we are more than happy to watch. However, this is an interactive show. So, what do you gain? And here's where we connect. Very good for asking the question, very good for making the statement. Brilliant, thank you. Here's where we connect to the idea of really exploring core beliefs, because, as we have said, the beliefs you hold on to, the definitions you hold on to because you want to. You never hold on. You will never, I guarantee it, believe me, you will never hold on to a belief or a definition, no matter how negative, that you don't define as working for you on some level. If you hold on to it, it's because you think it serves you to hold on to it. Because you've defined it in a way that says, as uncomfortable as it is to hold on to this belief, the alternative is scarier. So this makes me feel more comfortable, so I'll keep it, thank you. You will never hold on to that belief if you actually believed this was more advantageous. But if you're scared of this choice, you will think this is more advantageous, to hold on to what you know, to hold on to what you're familiar with. As uncomfortable as it may be, it's familiar, and sometimes that's why the symbol on the Enneagrammatic circuit, the last one is the unknown. Sometimes you define the unknown as scarier, and you'd rather have the familiar, as unpleasant as it is. And there it is again, another example of attaching definition to things. This is horrible, it's horrible, it's horrible. I can't stand it, I can't stand it, I can't stand it, but I can't stand that more. When you switch that idea, believe me, you will let go of this instantly and attach to that immediately. As soon as you change the definition of what actually serves you better, as soon as you get in touch with that core belief that going in this direction will actually be the best thing for you, you will immediately do so, and believe me, nothing will stop you. Nothing. Nothing gets in your way. Nothing gets in your way. Everything you're doing because you choose to do it, because you've defined it as the best thing for you to do by comparison to this other option. But if you know that other option could serve you, you simply have to get in touch with the rest of the definitions that don't allow you to automatically choose it, that don't allow you to feel that it would. And that's usually the definition that does that. Is this making some sense to you?
Yes, I just want to feel it so I can go.
All right. Well, as you say, first of all, you're angry about doing something that's not really who you are. All right, that's fine. Natural anger, shall we call it alignment, energy alignment, that's what it's doing. It's aligning you with your truth. Natural anger lasts about, 15 seconds. Anything beyond that is judgment. You understand?
Yes.
Natural anger is energy alignment. It's the recognition that a thing is not you by comparison. And you go, oh, no, not me. That's not who I am. But that's all anger actually is. If it lasts longer than that, that's where these other definitions of judgment come in. Oh, guilty. Guilty for not choosing this sooner. Now I'm really angry. And the guilt feeds the judgmental version of anger and perpetuates and magnifies that, and you spend your day going around in circles dealing with that, instead of simply using the anger in a positive way and say, oh, this version of healing is not who I am. All right. This is. and start moving in that direction, because you know that's who you are, and because you know that's who you are, you know that's what will support you. Because what excites you the most comes as a complete kit. Otherwise, it would be pointless. If what excited you the most couldn't support you in the reality you've chosen to be in, there would be no point in that being the thing that excites you. Because it wouldn't allow you to do that thing. It wouldn't allow you to continue to move in that direction if it didn't come with the ability to bring you what you need to continue to move in that direction. So you can even logic this out for yourself if that's the facility that works best for you, and recognize that there would be no reason for you to get excited about something if it didn't contain the ability to do that thing, to continue your excitement. Do you follow me?
I follow you.
Is this making sense dollars to you?
I'm feeling it, yes.
All right. Now, if the other issues come up, I'm unsure about this, I'm unsure about that, I'm not good enough for this, I'm not qualified for that, I don't know enough about this, I don't know enough about that. Do what you need to do to gain the information and experience that you need, knowing that that's not a path toward your excitement, that all those things are part of your excitement. They're just different perspectives, different variations of it. Different parts of the process of living your excitement. It's all living your excitement. And you can use even what you've been doing as part of your excitement, because it's finally brought you to a place where it's become clear what you are not. And sometimes people on earth have to simply figure out what they are by first figuring out what they are not. Sometimes it just works best that way for some of you, because now you know where you don't want to go. And that helps you really define where you do want to go. And if you worked it that way, bless it. It got you to this realization. So don't be angry with it. Don't be angry with yourself. Use it. Say, aha, freedom, release, insight, inspiration. The path I've been on, the things I've been doing have brought me to this realization. Hallelujah.
Gotcha. Thank you, Bashar.
If you don't use your life up to this point that way, it's like having a path of stepping stones and saying, I invalidate the stepping stones I have been walking on. If you invalidate them, if you judge them as unworthy of having been there, they will vanish experientially, and thus then how can they get you to where you want to go? How can they lead you to the rest of the stepping stones if you invalidate the stones you've stepped on?
I think it's the fear of crossing over and
Yes.
how I'm going to be supported financially
Yes.
to get to that level of my passion.
Yes.
I don't want to go to work at Mickey D's. And even though that my husband is supporting me, I keep thinking, I really want to let go of the massage.
Yes.
I do. I
All
have
right.
to.
Then
But-
do what you can in the direction of your highest joy, to the degree that your belief system will allow you to. Start there. Go as far as you believe you are willing to believe you can be supported.
Okay.
And don't discount any avenue that you really believe is a representation of your excitement in any form.
Okay.
But also, don't put conditions on yourself. You see, what you just did in that last sentence was bring up a flurry of belief systems and conditions. The only way I can get there and support myself is by working here or doing this job I don't like. I have to do it that way. No, you don't. But you have just revealed to yourself all the belief systems you have about that. So that's good. You've just made yourself transparent, and now you can deal with why you are afraid to take that step. You are afraid to take that step because you have a definition that says you must do it in a way that is unpleasant for you, that is not preferred. But that's not necessarily an empirical truth. It's just your definition that says that. So get in touch with why you have that definition and why you've made it real, and make it unreal. Because it doesn't have to be real, does it? One of the wonderful, wonderful things that exists is that there are other people. Other people act as shining examples of what's possible. If someone else can do it, you can do it. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's why all of you, really, most importantly, can be examples to everyone else by really following your passion. Because when you see someone else do it, it's not that you have to do it exactly the same way, but if they did it, that means it's possible for you. If you have attracted yourself into their life, or at least attracted them into your life enough to be aware of them and what they've done, then be inspired by the fact that they've done it as knowledge. As knowledge that if you've attracted them into your life as an example, that's a sign, that's a marker that you've done that to show yourself you are capable of the same thing. So if they created abundance in their lives in a fantastically rich, effortless, fun, and playful way, so can you. If the example exists anywhere and you can see it or be aware of it, it means you're capable of the same thing, or the example would never have come into your life, because there are no accidents. Does that make sense?
Yes, it frees me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
This and what we are talking about in this kind of dialogue is not just a precursor to the idea of getting in touch with core beliefs. Everything we are saying has everything to do with really using this example, as we just pointed out in this last conversation, as an example of having your own dialogue at the same time and using this and applying it to your own situation to get in touch with your beliefs and your underlying beliefs and your core beliefs. All of this is part of the process. We are not stepping aside from all the other information we're talking about. This is part of the information. These dialogues are part of the information, part of the process in action. So pay attention to that. Are there more clarifications and questions?
Hello, dear Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm just step on the path when I trying to explore who I am and why I'm here.
Yes.
And it brings also tremendous responsibilities because
Oh,
it's not
stop. Before you go on, are you defining the term responsibility in a positive or negative way?
positive.
All right. Go ahead.
And it's interesting, like you said, there's no accidents in the universe.
No.
And more I'm getting, I feel like I'm just on the baby level to be on that road, but I'm getting...
You all are.
Thank you. But I'm getting more and more.
And so are we.
Thank you.
We are always all learning. There is no end. So, we are all masters, and we're all on the baby level. And a master knows they're on the baby level. That's what makes them a master. Continue.
It's interesting that I'm getting more and more information about
Yes.
stuff what even hard to comprehend by human mind, but it's very exciting and very interesting about the answer to question why I'm here.
Yes.
And I would like you, would you please scan my energy and maybe ask the guys on the other side
The guys?
to get their permission? Because in a way, I feel that me and you are related. I
Well,
even
yes,
start to...
in a sense, we are speaking to the people we are speaking to because there is an energetic connection. Otherwise, you'd be talking to someone else. So there is a relationship, there is a relatedness to the energy connection. Now, with their permission, your permission, and this goes for all of you, individually as well as collectively. What will help clarify some of these issues is information that does already exist. If you're not aware of it yet, it would be perhaps advantageous for you to become aware of this information. And it is in the form of what we will suggest as 3 books. Read Journey of Souls, Destiny of Souls, and the newest Conversations with God book called Home with God. All 3 are specifically about choosing from the spirit level the idea of physical reality and what goes into it, and why you choose those things, and why you wind up where you wind up. Educate yourself, if you have not done so yet, with the information in those books. They will help you synthesize a better and clearer understanding of the processes and mechanisms that go on in the spirit world that wind up in what your lives turn out to be, and thus, in some senses, answer many of the questions as to why is this happening? Why am I this person? So read those 3 books, see what that does, process that information, and see if it will take you further toward answering the why. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, one moment. One moment. Are you specifically or strongly attracted to the color lavender or the
Yes.
flower?
Yes.
All right. This is, again, coming from your guides as a very good focusing element for you. It puts you, in a sense, helps you put yourself in the proper vibrational state to best absorb this kind of information. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also have a question, more specific question.
Yes.
Is one of my guide extraterrestrial?
Yes.
Can you name
No.
him? Okay, thank you. My other question, and this was piquing my curiosity recently, it's about, and you brought it many times and even today, that it's no such thing as a past life, reincarnations, all lives are going on simultaneously.
Yes, you can experience it as a past life, but they don't really exist in the past because there's no such thing. Everything exists now.
Yes, but my question is, can I change my frequency to experience those lives and then change my frequency to the present frequency? And
Yes.
is it any effects of those parallel lives on a current frequency life?
Yes, of course. They're all interconnected. There is constant communication and bleed through of information and experiences crossing all those lives. Constantly. You may not always know where it comes from, where an inspiration suddenly comes from, but it might be coming from an experience in another parallel life that you know you can use in this life, and so you simply make a connection, download the information, and use it without necessarily having to know it's coming in that sense from another life. You understand?
Yes, but how I can achieve that? I was
You don't necessarily always want to know where it's coming from, because that might slow down your ability to actually use that information in this life. When you need to know where it comes from, you will.
All right.
You can be open to exploring that idea, and when and where it's important for you to know that it's part and parcel of another life experience your oversoul may be having, then you'll know. But if you don't know, it's not always important for you to know, because it may not be part of your experience here to know specifically where that information comes from, because you need to use it in this life in the way you need to use it, not in the way that version of you needed to use it. Make sense?
Yes.
But if it excites you to explore that idea, see where your excitement takes you without expectation. Because remember, you're choosing to live this life,
Yes.
not become the other lives. Although you can connect to them, just use your imagination. The lavender may help with that as well.
Thank you.
But you may only at first get very quick flashes. That may be enough. Don't insist on more. Just take it the way it comes, because that's the way it serves you. And if it needs to come in longer flashes and longer understandings of what's going on in different lives, then the more you do it, it may come that way if it needs to. All right?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes. And the last thing,
Yeah.
I was very excited today to hear about that you stressed the importance of the dreams.
Yes.
And this is what I also been getting messages that I need to look more into my dreams.
Yes.
Because this is the way how my guides speak to me.
Absolutely. And that's very important. But what we are also stressing here today is not so much the importance of dreams as the importance of dreaming. All right? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What is the time frame remaining for this segment? All right.
Who changes negative beliefs in your subconscious and cleanses attached spirits, also done by John of God in
One
Brazil.
moment. Please remember, listen to your language. You do all the changing that happens in you. Someone else may have the ability to inspire you to make that change, but no one else, not even God, can change you if you don't want to change. Remember the joke we told in the beginning?
Yes,
The light bulb has to want to change.
right.
So you make all the changes in you. No one changes you. But they may set up a vibration from which you take inspiration to change yourself. That's how healing works. Mm-hmm. That's how masters work. They give off a vibration that represents the healed state, but you have to set that vibration up within yourself by matching it in order for you to experience the change or the healing. So you're actually doing the work, but they're acting as a reflective vibrational example. They're not doing it to you or for you. Does that make sense?
Right.
So pay attention to how you say those things, because sometimes in phrasing it the way you phrased it, it can be that you're in a state where you're giving your power away to someone else, and that's exactly the opposite direction you want to go in.
So I can heal myself
You
without...
do heal yourself all the time. Anytime there is a healing or a change, you're the one doing it. But you may be taking your cue from examples others are giving you. And the fact that they may say, you are healed, doesn't mean they actually did it. It still means you did it too. Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
Yes, definitely.
Does this help?
Yes.
All right, and?
If I don't get inspired myself, it is helpful to go see these people.
Yes, it can help trigger the idea. All I'm saying is always remember that if you do get triggered and if something does happen, it's you that really did it, even though you may have allowed them to inspire you and help you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. At this timing, we will allow you to be inspired by your stomachs. Have refreshment. And we will continue this transmission with more information and more interaction after your lunch break. Thank you. How's it going? I'll say let us continue with the transmission in the following manner. All of you become as comfortable as you can. Close your eyes if you wish. When you are feeling comfortable in your position, take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in, slowly, let it out. And one more time, take a deep breath in and let it out. Breathe easily, comfortably, in a relaxed manner. Let your body relax. Let your feet relax, your legs relax, your hips relax, your torso relax, shoulders relax, hands, arms relax, neck, muscles relax, face muscles relax, scalp muscles relax. Loosen your jaw muscle. Just breathe. Just feel yourself floating along. And now, if you will, imagine that you are on the surface of the ocean and you are in a kind of deep diving vessel. It is not claustrophobic. It is of your own design. It is as spacious as you want it to be, or as intimate as you want it to be, made out of whatever you want it to be made out of. If it is transparent, that is fine. If it is not transparent, allow it to at least have a viewing window through which you can look. And by whatever means you may imagine, pragmatic or miraculous, you have no problem breathing inside this deep diving vessel. The air is fresh and comfortable. Temperature is comfortable. The way you are either lying down, sitting, or standing in it is comfortable. It is almost like an extension of you, of your body. And as you bob up and down in the waves on the surface, you look out and you see beautiful sun-dappled surface of the ocean with 1,000 little glints of light. And it stretches far, far off into the horizon. Now and then, perhaps, either a fish or a dolphin may poke its head up, cause a little splash to occur with its tail, just enough to let you know that there's activity below the surface. And as beautiful as the surface may be, and the sky above, and the clouds, and whatever land there may be in sight, and as beautiful as the color of the surface may be, and the day and the wind may be, the splashing has gotten your curiosity. And you decide that you will just take a little dive down a little ways just to see what's going on down there below the surface. And so you allow your mind to control in whatever way you wish, either by creating your levers or buttons in front of you, or just with mind control. You allow yourself to just sink below the surface a little bit, It is still brightly lit below the surface by the sun. And you can begin to see that there is life here. A few little beautiful, colorful fishes swimming around. Some very interesting ones of different sizes and shapes swimming around, looking back at you with equal curiosity. And you see below that the color of the ocean shifts to a deeper blue. And you decide that you're curious enough to see what's down there too. And so you allow yourself to descend a little bit further, just a little bit, into a beautiful deep blue, level layer of the ocean. And you see that there are different kinds of animals and fish down at this level, doing slightly different things, moving in slightly different ways, and you begin to get a sense of the different layers and levels of community and communication that exist within the ocean. And you look down and see that it is deeper blue still below you. And with your curiosity heightened, you decide you will really explore a little bit further, and you allow the deep diving vessel to sink and descend a little bit more into the deeper layers of the blue. Deep blue, not quite indigo. And you begin to see again different forms of life. Some of them may seem a little strange. Some of them may even seem a little bit scary, but that's all right. You're perfectly safe, comfortable, at ease in your deep diving vessel made of impenetrable material. But you have a perfect window on this strange, mysterious world at this level of the sea. And you see below you that it becomes darker still. And you move down through the layers into a deep indigo all around you, maybe even with just the slightest tinge of violet to it. There is still some sunlight reaching, but it is faint. You are now really in a deeper world, a different world, and you begin to sense that there are larger forms of life down here, doing things very differently than the forms of life above. A very different kind of ability to navigate through the semi-darkness with different senses that reach out, that feel, that hear, that receive and send different wavelengths of energy all through this layer, all through this deep, deep indigo. And you look and you see that there is a darker layer yet below you. And you let the deep diving vessel go down. And now you find that the layer around you deepens, darkens to very, very deep, deep purpley blue. Very deep, almost black, but not quite. And now you begin to sense other life, sense it almost more than see it, although here and there might be little flashes and flickers of light from bioluminescent, self-light generating organisms. And some of them, when you catch a quick glimpse here and there, may seem very strange, very alien to you, of very different configuration than the life far above you. Yet you still know and still remember that light up above, and even though it doesn't seem so, you know it is still reaching down through the depths, and that there is always a connection to that light above. Always. And now you feel, yet again, a tug, deeper still. And you allow the deep diving vessel to descend into velvety, space-like blackness. And yet there is a substance to it. It's not an emptiness. It's its own dimension. And you sense that there is, even here, near the ocean floor, an intelligence, an awareness of you, and you don't quite know how you are aware of it, but you are. And then you decide that you will switch on the lights of your deep diving vessel and illuminate what is just around you. And in and out of those lights, you see life forms gliding, sliding past, strange, mysterious, never revealing exactly all of their shape and size, but just a fin, just a tail, just a scale, just a hint. Here an eye. And you sense that these, so close to the ocean floor, they form a kind of foundation. Everything from all the upper layers, it eventually sinks down to this level. Eventually, one way or another. And this level absorbs it, builds on it, makes everything that filters down from the top its own, builds its own unique sense of community, idea, reflection, foundation. And you allow your deep diving vessel to go all the way to the bottom, and you land on the ocean floor with a soft thud. And you sit there. And you realize how quiet it is. And you realize that somewhere down here, there is an intelligence and an awareness that gives rise to everything above it. And you reach out your senses and you search with your lights. You do not immediately see what it could be. There are all the familiar life forms swimming around, the ones you have now become familiar with. No matter how strange they may be, you understand. They are their own form of idea, their own form of life. They have their own community, their own layer, their own level, their own understanding, their own intelligence, their own reason for being. But there's something else down here with you that seems to permeate everything, everywhere. It is deep and it is abiding. It is forever. And yet you have encountered it, seemingly for the first time. Become aware of it for the first time, yet you know it has always, always, always been there. Waiting for you to make contact waiting for you to allow yourself to descend through the layers of ideas and beliefs and feeling and knowledge and definition, waiting for you to make contact with the core. And you sense it now as a deep thrumming in the ocean floor, in the earth itself, the core vibrating like a molten heart, pumping, pumping, pumping life into everything above it. And you realize that here lies the key. That fluidity, that moltenness, that heat that lies just beneath the surface of the ocean floor can instantly allow the floor just above it to sink, and you and your diving vessel sink into the ocean floor, through the ocean floor, and into the molten core. And with your impenetrable diving sphere, you see that you are surrounded by the beautiful, thick liquid of the core. You are in the crucible, the forge, from which ideas and beliefs and definitions and feelings and thoughts are formed. But you are in the raw state before it is crystallized into anything that is recognizable as a form, as a life, as an idea. Here in the core is the beginning of all things that you know as the life above. And you realize that it all comes down to this, that all the things above come from the same place, come from the one core. And as you have this thought, suddenly, this thought, this feeling, this idea puts you in touch that it's so quiet here in the core that you can actually hear your heartbeat. And you realize that your heart is beating at exactly the same rhythm as the core is pulsing around you. And as you imagine, and as you hear, and as you feel this heartbeat, you remember that with every beat of your heart, it sends out an electromagnetic pulse at the speed of light. And it goes through what you thought was the impenetrable skin of your diving vessel. Your diving vessel is transparent to this vibration. And the vibrational beat of your heart causes a stir, a vibration in the core fluid around you. And a pulse comes back in answer to your heartbeat. And the two heartbeats begin to communicate, begin to talk, begin to understand each other, begin to know each other, begin to become each other. And you realize, as the feedback from your heart reaches you from the outside, passing again through the impenetrable skin of your diving vessel and coming back to you, that the very thought that you send out comes back changed, different. You have changed the world around you. Curious to see what this change has wrought, you allow your diving vessel to begin to ascend up through the molten core, up through the dividing line between the hot and the cold ocean floor. And it solidifies around you and under your diving vessel. And somehow, there's a difference. The forms of life around you in the deep are not quite the same. The flashes of light are not quite the same pattern. Something has changed. Something is different. Something is new. And you rise up through the layers, through the deepest blue, into the lighter blue, the lighter blue, the lighter blue, all the way up until you are once again breaching and bobbing, splashing on the surface, and looking at the horizon, looking at the ocean, stretch out all around you. Something that's not quite the same as when you began the dive. And then you realize the difference is you. You are not quite the same. You have been transformed by your journey into the depths of your being. And you have brought back with you an entirely new you that takes its cue from the change you made in the core belief with your heart, with your heart's desire. Desire drove you down into the core to immerse you in your definitions and to instill and extract from you the dedication to recognize and be who you know yourself to be, and the detachment to release from the new core you crystallized, to rise back up so that you can observe and experience and live the results of the new idea you created yourself to be, which will expand your desire to explore all the more who and what you are and how many different oceans you can discover when you rise to the surface yet again. From each and every trip you take into the core, you will rise to the surface of a different sea. A different sea. A different sea. And you will see things differently because you are different than you used to be. Take a deep breath in and breathe in the day and breathe in the salt air and the freshness of the new world you have created. Take a deep breath in and open your senses to the sights and sounds of the new world all around you and the freshness of the reality that you have given birth to by birthing yourself anew. Take a deep breath in and feel the expansiveness of the new beginning that you have opened to you every moment of every day with every choice that you make. Every change is a total change. And the world is never the same twice, from moment to moment to moment. Core belief is the passage to your inner self, the choices you made coming into this life. And when you visit the core belief, the core doorway You stand on the threshold of all possibilities yet again. The same possibilities you had available to you in spirit when you decided to be physical. You can rearrange the agreement in that space. All of the ink vanishes and the paper is clean. Rewrite your contract with yourself in all the ways that are important to you. Make a declaration of independence with your signature on it and declare yourself free to be who you prefer to be. Anytime, every time, all the time. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. And welcome to a new world. A new world. Land of the free. Home of the brave. Now, let's take a look at the diagram of all the circles and the jagged spiral. Allow yourself to take that diagram, hold it in your two hands. Two hands. Two hands. Two hands. Hold it at a distance from your face that is comfortable so you can take in the entire image comfortably. Don't focus too close. Don't hold it too far. Just at the right distance where you can see the whole image and get a sense of the three-dimensionality of the jagged spiral when it begins to start looking more three-dimensional, like a box. When you see lines that really look like they're moving towards you, going away, when it starts to take on that quality, that's the right distance. Even if it only lasts for a fraction of a second, that's the correct focal point. Just look at it. Don't concentrate. Just look at it. Just look at it. Now, start at the top of the spiral and allow yourself to slowly slide down the spiral through the circles. Just follow the line easily and comfortably all the way down to the center circle. Take your time. No right way, no wrong way. Just take your time. And when you get to the center, whenever that may be, just rest there for a moment. And see that your focal point is surrounded by all the other circles. Now, once you are in the center, allow yourself again to make sure that you are holding the image at the correct focal length to be able to see the three-dimensionality of it. And even some of the circles may start to look like they are laid out in a three-dimensional matrix. That's all right. Again, it may be subtle, it may be bold, it doesn't matter. But as your mind attempts to make sense out of the idea that the spiral looks three-dimensional, it will also make an attempt to see exactly what the relationship of that spiral is to the circles, and that may allow some of the circles to start looking like they are not exactly in the same plane with each other either. Let that happen if it does. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Now follow the spiral out from the center. Follow the lines as they flow. all the way back out to where you started at the top of the diagram, whatever pace is comfortable for you. And come back out to the top. Now, you can do this at your own pace later. Right now, I am simply telling you how to use this tool. So follow along for now with the pacing I am giving you. You can do this later in your own time, in your own way, at your own pace. All right. Now, you have circumnavigated this structure once, in and out, just for its own sake, just learning the path, just feeling your way and starting to get a sense of the dimensionality that is inherent in this form. That's step one. Now, here's step two. You will do the same thing again, but this time, before you go down the spiral to the center, what you will do is take with you an intention to discover a core belief, an intention to have a core belief revealed to you. That's all, just the intention. Nothing more, no expectation, just intention. With that intention to be shown a core belief, go down the spiral again in all of its dimensionality until you come to the center. Hang, float, sit, whatever you wish, in the center for a moment, and just be open to being shown an image, or getting a feeling, or a symbol, or an idea, or a memory, or an imagination, or a color, or a picture, or a word, or a sound. It doesn't matter. Just take it to heart that in some way, shape, or form, that represents the first step in getting in touch with a core belief. If it goes farther than that and expands into something bigger, that's fine. But it doesn't have to at this time. Once you have received that, even if it is simply an emptiness, and it simply comes to a point where you simply know it is time to go, whether you felt like you got anything or not, then when you feel it's time to go, go. Leave the center and come back up the spiral, back to the top. Now, at that point, look around at whatever beliefs you may be in touch with about yourself and see if any of them start to take on a slightly different perspective. See if any of them look a little different. Look at the situations in your life and see if any of them have taken on a slightly different point of view, or if you are looking at them a little bit differently or feeling a little bit differently about them. Or you see yourself as occupying a little bit different role, part, or position with regard to that situation you were in before you went down the spiral. Come back up and see if anything looks or feels or sounds or tastes or smells a little bit different than it did before. Once you have done that, allow yourself to examine at that point whatever you wish to examine. Let that recognition or realization take you wherever it needs to go. And once you have spent a little time with that, according to whatever is comfortable for you, and you have made a decision that you want more revelation and more alteration of your point of view and your relationship to that situation, then with that decision for an expanded point of view or an increase in informational flow, take that idea down the spiral again to the center at whatever rate is comfortable. Sit with it and see if more knowledge, more insight, more information comes, or if you suddenly start to feel more unlocked, if you start to feel a growing vibration, maybe even of excitement, maybe even of fear, but feel something growing, something more, something opening up, something changing, something around you. You don't know what it is maybe, but that's all right. You just start to sense there's a deeper picture, a bigger picture, more than you were formerly aware of. Opening up. Like a flower, like a seed opening into a flower within you. It may not be completely coherent. You may not have words to describe it. It may be quick, it may be slow. But once you feel it is time to go, come back up the spiral, all the way to the top, and again look at whatever situations draw your attention, and again see, feel, or experience if your relationship to that situation is different yet again, and how it's different. Take whatever time, spend whatever time you wish to examining that difference. Allow yourself to develop a better understanding of the new relationship you now have with that circumstance, that situation, that idea, that belief. And once you have taken this third journey, first time just going in and coming out to get a sense of the dimensionality, second time with intention, as we said, to be given something about a core belief and coming out and seeing if there's a difference. Third time, taking that difference and wanting it to expand down into the core and coming out again with a different, expansive point of view. Once you have done those three things, go into it one more time with one focus only. At the top of the spiral, take everything that has happened, just sort of sit with it, as you say in your language, just neutralize it, put it there for later examination. It's not going away. And now just ask the question, why? And go down the spiral again. And once you arrive at the center, be very quiet and see if something answers you. Whatever it is, when you feel you've gotten some kind of a response, come back up the spiral. That's enough for one day. Then, as you come back up the spiral, having done these 4 trips down to the core and back up again, these 4 journeys down the path and back up to the surface again, take all of that and allow yourself this recognition. Say, I am open to synchronicity. I am open to dream. I am open to guides. Then allow yourself to see and make a note of whatever further information and insights come to you during the day in synchronicities, and whatever information comes to you in your dreams or from what you take to be your guides. Write them down, note them, pay attention to them, write them down, mark them. When you wake up, when you receive the synchronicity, as soon as possible, as fresh in your mind as possible, write down the idea, the inspirations, the imaginations, the synchronicities, the dream revelations, or the scenarios that come to you as clearly as you can, as quickly as you can. Then look at what you have been given and see in all that information from that day and night how it might relate to an opportunity or a situation or a doorway or a window that will lead to something you can act on that will change the situation you are in. If that's what you want, or will put you more in touch with core beliefs, if that's what you prefer. See what has changed, see what insights you have been given. Then the next day, do the same thing over again. Take the 4 trips down the spiral and back up with all the same intentions we just said, more and more. And then again, pay attention to the synchronicities, the inspirations, the messages, the dreams. Write them all down, note them, and see how that information may relate to the unfolding in your life on a daily basis. Note them. Very important. Now, before you do this every day, and if again you have to write them down, that's fine. Before you begin your first journey down the spiral with this particular image, give yourself a moment, get into a relaxed state, and either tell yourself out loud or think it to yourself or feel it, but as strongly as you can, I do this with desire to define my dedication to detach. I do this with desire to define my dedication to detach. I do this with desire to define my dedication to detach. I do this with desire to define my dedication to detach. So be it. Say it 4 times. Finish with, so be it. Or amen, or hallelujah, or whatever you wish. That is for you a finalizing acceptance of your desire to define your dedication to detach. Do that little ritual first. Do the 4 trips down the spiral and back out. Notice and log your synchronicities, inspirations, and dreams. You will find within 30 to 90 of your days, your life will begin to contain things you will be astonished to find in your life. Opportunities, synchronicities, doorways, people. You will be amazed. Until you get to the point where amazement is the order of the day. This will unlock you. Do it if you wish to unlock. Do it if you desire to define your dedication to detach and discover your core beliefs and recrystallize your reality into what you prefer it to be, into that which is aligned with your core being. Rewrite the contract with fresh ink and a new signature. Declare your independence and your freedom. Rise to the occasion of yourself, of your existence. Rise to the occasion of your being. Rise to the occasion of the potential of your life. Rise to the recognition and acknowledgement and acceptance of who you were created to be. To be. To be. Take a deep breath and expand. take a moment. Just sit with yourself for a moment. Feel what just this moment may have done to you in terms of changed little things within you, little feelings, little vibrations, little ideas, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Feel the potential of your being. Feel the desire build within you to discover who you are. Feel the moment of revelation when you crack the code of a definition. Feel the certainty of the commitment and dedication you call forth in declaring your freedom to be who you are. And attract what is reflective of that. Feel the compassionate detachment to all things not you. And then feel your desire amplify to do only those things that are. And continue the cycle and spiral upward and upward and upward, magnifying your magnificence and the magnificence of all that is that you reflect. Take a deep breath and let it out. Thank you. And now, if you wish, there may be more sharing, questions, and discussion.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I was just, thank you so much for that meditation.
Thank all of you, for you co-created it.
I was wondering if you could clarify. I was in it and I don't really remember much about, I'm visualizing doing it at home, and if you could clarify just a little more about the difference between when you're going down the spiral and then
Yes.
when you're going up.
Well, the main difference is what you bring back with you from the center.
Okay.
You go down with an intention, you come back with a result of that intention. And then you see how that result has changed what you originally started with.
Okay.
Does that make sense? That's the simple way to understand it.
Okay.
Is that sufficient? Or is there some
think
other
so.
detail you wish to explore about that process?
No, that's good for the process.
All right. If you wish, just listen back to the recording
Okay.
as many times as necessary to get all the nuances of exactly what we said in the way we said it. You'll get it. You'll feel your way down the path. It will become familiar to you. The only reason it seems a little confusing or unclear right now is you're not familiar with that path. But as you journey down the spiral and come back, you will make your own way. You'll make your own markers. You'll make your own signposts, and you'll learn to recognize them and become familiar with that as your path,
Okay.
not just a path. And as you move through the different dimensions of it, you will actually be moving through different dimensions of yourself. And coming back out through other dimensions of yourself. And as you do that over and over again, you will eventually touch base with all the different aspects and dimensions in space and time that make up your personality and corporeal being. And you'll begin to see how your spirit relates to that, and you'll begin to understand, when you see how your spirit relates to that, what kind of original choices you made in being physical and what kind of core beliefs you may have attached yourself to in the experience of physicality. You'll begin to develop a new language for yourself, a new way of communicating with yourself. That's what this journey using this dimensional spiral will do. This is something our civilization created long ago, and we used to great effect to bring us as one tool to where we are today. Do you follow me? We are sharing this tool with you because now is the time we know it will actually begin to work for you, because your collective energy and individual energy is now in a place where you can actually adapt this. Does that help you?
That helps a lot.
Then pleasant dreams.
Thank you. Thank you, Bashar.
Time to get back in my body.
All right. Welcome back.
Thank you. This is not just quantum physics, but this is alchemy. This is,
It's all the same thing.
yes, this is creation of miracles.
It's all the same thing.
Just amazing.
As I said, amazement will become the natural order of the day.
Thank you. One thing I would like to clarify, and this relates to the core issue, of course.
Yes.
Collapsing of space-time,
Yes.
and this is speaking quantumly, but of course it's just the, when we were going through that exercise, I saw 3 different parallel, as I was holding the diagram,
Yeah,
I
I
saw
see.
3 versions of that.
Good.
At the same time, physically.
Very good.
Which is, yeah, it's very amazing.
Yes. More amazing. Yes.
Yeah, and I guess my question is, out of those realities, we choose which reality we want,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
And I've gone through, with my life, I've gone through some very exotic parallel universe trips, but they were never conscious. They happened
Yes.
accidentally.
Yes.
How do we choose to either?
Well, this exercise is also designed to make that experience more conscious.
Boy, something happened. Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Very
yes.
cool.
You see, this is why we had to wait till now to bring this tool in. It's actually going to start making some of you begin to actually consciously perceive the different parallel realities. And only now are you at the beginning of the point where you have the capacity to begin to integrate them in a way that will not drive you crazy.
And to consciously
Yes.
create that versus hallucinating it, which is really the
Exactly.
same thing, different perspective.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Yes. Well put.
Yes, thank you. It's all getting clearer now. The other thing is when you had talked before the break about, and this is the second thing with core issues.
Yes.
The lady brought up fear.
Yes.
And you brought up the Home with God book. I was up till about 2 a.m. finishing that book.
All right. Thank you.
So it's very apropos. Of course, there's no coincidence.
No, thank you for your synchronicity.
Yes. And my question on that is,
Yes.
she talked about fear. Now, instead of going through all the layers and layers and layers, let's say, of all of our fears,
Yes.
what I came to the conclusion last night and also earlier today when you were talking about that, in relationship to that,
Yes.
is, now that book talked about death and how death is a form of ultimate creation.
Yes.
So if you look at it from that standpoint,
Yes.
I guess one of the greatest fears I have in most humans is the fear of death.
Yes.
So if you can transmute and transform the fear of that
Yes.
as a core issue,
Yes.
maybe my belief is that there's a way of transmuting all fears.
Yes.
Of everything.
Yes.
correct? Like at the very core of the core issue of fear itself.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Completely and specifically. Yes.
Does that mean yes?
Yes. Well, maybe.
And that goes back to sea, this is the
yes.
sea,
Yes,
going up
yes,
and down
yes.
the sea. Yeah.
Yes.
And okay, so that makes sense
Oh, thank you.
from the core.
We think so.
Yeah, the core of the core of the core of the core of the core issue.
It touches everything above it.
Because if you perceive the fear of dying as an ultimate form of creation, maybe in a different vibrational
Yes.
path,
Yes.
then if there's no fear of that, then nothing
Yes.
else. The vaporizes the
Yes.
fear of everything
Yes,
else. Doesn't
this
it?
is why we began long ago, in your terms of time, the idea of delivering information about what we call the 4 laws. The first law being, you exist. That can't change. You may change the form of your experience of existence, but you will always exist in some form, and you will always know you're you. Always. That is simply a state of absolute now-ness. That can't change.
And that's how you collapse time.
Yes, yes. Because you understand that time is only created by you when you create a bunch of details in which they must exist in time.
Because there is no time.
There isn't really, although there's the experience of
Physical.
it. Yes. It is a way of simply holding on to all of the parts you view yourself as. But when you stop viewing yourself as a collection of parts and see yourself more holistically, then only one moment is needed to experience that. And time collapses into the eternal now moment.
Yes.
Yes. Does that help?
That helps a lot. One
Yes.
observation,
Oh, yeah.
the synchronicities. We talked about love as being the most ultimate, the most powerful force in the universe, the creation.
Well, it's not a force per se, but
Right.
yes.
As,
It is the very substance of existence.
Right, and
It's the
about-
vibration of it.
and how that interfaces with the heart. And
Yes.
what I noticed today
Yes.
is that you're wearing red.
Well, the channel is.
The channel is wearing red.
Yes,
and
we
the
told
plant-
him to do so.
And the plants behind you,
Yes.
if you look at it a certain way, forms the shape of a heart.
Yes.
Two parts coming together. It's very
No accidents.
interesting.
Yes. We have never really been in a position to dictate to the channel what he should wear in the morning. But today was an exception. And he knew that the final piece of downloaded information was pick the red shirt. It will go along with the vibration of desire that will be discussed.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Is there further question?
Yes, there is.
All right, well, you may proceed.
Thank you. This is Hassan again. Asked
Oh,
question
again?
yesterday, and again and again.
But never the same Hassan twice.
Never, yeah. I agree. I have 3 parts basically. First one is.
Oh, how orderly of you.
Thank you. I would like to share my experience.
Please.
The trip
Please.
we take, like diving in the ocean.
Yes.
First, I was on the surface. I was seeing blue skies, like some birds flying and everything. There was silver reflection of the sun
Yes.
on the surface.
Yes.
And I was in a solid oval, like diving ship.
All right.
And then I was diving in, and when I reached the core, as you said,
Yes.
my ship like changed to be like spherical and
Alright.
transparent and everything.
All right.
And I could feel it. And then when I went back to the surface, I tried to reimagine the blue skies and everything.
Yes.
And the same as before, but I couldn't.
All right.
It
Very
was
good.
like always like purplish,
Yes.
violetish,
Yes.
and like the sea, the ocean turned into like
All right. Very good.
thick silver liquidish.
All right. We
kinda
said there might be
thing.
changes. Yes.
Yeah, so
Anytime you go to the core and come back up, there is likely to be changes.
and the thing is, I turned my lights on way earlier before you said.
That's
turn
all
them on,
right.
So
That's all right. There is no right way or wrong way to do this. Your imagination is the best guide. We are only giving you the basic structure. Your imagination tells you in what order and at what pace is best for you. So by all means, allow yourself to follow your imagination. That's very good.
all right. The second part is I picked up on different energies.
Yes.
One of them, I have like 3 of them I want to mention first before I come to my question, but I do it fast.
Yes.
One of them was I live in Venice Beach in Los Angeles, and
All right.
whenever I pass by the boardwalk, I see a sign saying sidewalk market.
Yes.
And whenever I see it, something strikes me, and I say something will happen around that area and everything.
Yes.
So a few years later, we ended up living just on the corner of that
Yes.
place.
Yes.
Another
right.
incident is in Lebanon. I was used to drive by a street, and I always think something bad is going to happen there.
All right.
And later on, the prime minister was assassinated on
All
the
right.
same street I
All right.
was feeling the feelings at.
All right, very good. And
So my question now is,
Yes.
Many times when I look at the clock, I see it's 11:11.
yes, synchronous doorway reminder.
And it always strikes me, and just want to know like the significance of it. Why
I just
always
told
see
you.
it.
The significance of setting up those kinds of synchronicities is to allow yourself to have markers to know that you are operating in the appropriate vibration at that moment that you need to be in.
All right. Thank
Now,
you.
the idea of the other incidents, again, has to do with the concept that when you're in the appropriate vibration, time collapses. All space and all time are one, and when you pick up on the vibration that is going on in a particular area, that is the strongest vibration of the area, you can, by collapsing time in that way, get a sense of parallel realities that may ultimately manifest that you will participate in, or that you will come to know about. Because all those things happen all at once. So you were simply picking up on vibrations that were the strongest probability and likelihood of parallel realities that may occur in certain places because you are sensitive to that. And able to be in the proper place, the 11:11 doorway, that will allow you to collapse space, collapse time, and actually get a sense of the most likely manifestation of parallel reality that may occur in any given so-called space-time coordinate location. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I have one last thing.
Oh, one last thing. Yes, all right.
yes. Which is kind of similar to an incident which happens with a guy called Joe.
A guy called Joe.
In one of your previous sessions,
Oh,
we
all
had an
right.
encounter with a turtle named Lumpy.
Lumpy. All right. A lumpy turtle. Yes.
And it's similar in a way that he was encountering that with an animal. Meanwhile, I was encountering an interaction with flower bushes, basically.
Yes. How so?
My mom had an installation, and she needed to get some yellow flowers from
Yes.
somewhere. And so I went there. There was several bushes, and so I was hearing as if them telling me something, like each one of them says something different.
Yes.
Like the bushes in the back, they were saying, we look very ugly, we're dying, we don't care, you can take from us,
All
and
right.
blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, there is like one bush which was like by itself in the front, and it's very like alive and everything.
Yes.
And it was telling me as if, stay away from me, take that one, take this one,
All right.
And the thing is, I was following what the flowers were telling me,
Yes.
It's not like I still insisted to take that,
Yes.
So, I don't
right.
know, also like...
How does the turtle figure in?
Well, it just was, as I said, similar in the sense that it was interactions with people, with not species, no.
You are communicating with different life forms.
Yes, different than just humans, basically.
Well, yes.
And
All life forms have intelligence in one way or another and can communicate. And again, because you have created for yourself a particular kind of vibratory frequency that collapses space-time, you are able to pick up on frequencies of communications in different bandwidths and interpret them and translate them into something you can understand.
all right.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Say hi to Lumpy.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
For me, it was interesting in the meditation because I had to get out of the ship and just dive into the water
Oh, all right.
without any protection, which was interesting.
Well, it's not for protection, but go ahead.
What is it for?
We'll see.
I want to revisit something that happened before the lunch break because it was an aha moment for me. When you
All
were
right.
talking to the healer who's going to soon be a musical healer.
Yes.
And you were talking about following the passion.
Yes.
And one of the things that I remembered
Yes.
was that if truly we're following our passion,
Yes.
and externally it's not coming into sync the way we feel we wish it to be,
Yes.
it's not because the passion is wrong,
Correct.
but because there's another core belief that needs to be, that can be cleared to help clear the obstacles from the path to the passion. More or less, okay? Am I close?
The idea is not to set the goal, that the outcome is important. The idea is to understand that regardless of how anything looks, you still choose to be passionate for its own sake, because that's who you are, not because it's going to change how the world looks around you.
Right, but is it sometimes what for me, when I have a passion and it feels strongly,
Yes.
yeah, that, and some of that's obviously the expectation of the outcome,
Yes.
I understand that,
All right.
but it was almost the sensation that in addition to that and letting go of the expectation, going to the detached state,
Yes.
right, that also it's an opportunity to amp
Yes.
it up a bit,
Yes.
go back to the desire,
Yes.
right, and then allow, if there is other core issues,
Oh, yes.
to be cleared.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's always an opportunity, and that is how to use it in a positive way so that the highest degree of probability or likelihood for allowing the outer reality to change comes about, but not because it has to, not because that becomes the primary
Right.
focus. But
Understood,
yes.
Understood. For me, it's again synchronicity, because
Yes.
this has been, for me, a journey this past year of truly clearing the inner, healing the inner child, or coming to that
All right.
innocence. And so with, for me, the first one was, no matter what I do, it's not good enough.
All right.
And there's still about a 10% charge around that one, but it's,
Oh, 10%.
Yeah,
You're actually able to measure it.
I muscle tested.
Oh.
But it
Oh,
was
how
interesting
sophisticated. All right.
But it also kind of fit back into
Yes.
the continual journey through the 4Ds
Oh, yes.
and amping it up.
Yes.
And being aware that although the outside doesn't change, it's how I react to it differently. Yeah?
Yes.
Because the situation may not change, but I no longer take it as a failure.
Exactly.
So it's that ramping it
You
up.
are imbuing it with new meaning so that you give it the opportunity to become some other kind of reflection. But since you've already imbued it with new meaning, you couldn't care less because you already have the state of being you were looking for anyway.
The second one is, no matter what if I ask for what I need, then I'll be left. And in my sophisticated measuring system, there's still about 60% charge on that.
One moment. Repeat that. If you ask for
A
what you
core
need,
belief
you
that I
will
had
be
had, if I ask for what I need,
you will be
left.
left, left alone, left behind,
Left inside of
left of center,
left instead of right? No.
left instead of
Blue
right,
state, red state, no. Left behind, left.
left behind.
Abandoned.
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 Ah, all right.
Okay. And so for me
By whom?
now, others outside.
Others. Any others in particular?
And currently it's relationship, but it's my issue, not his.
Understood, but it is always insightful to understand whom you are using as a reflection of your issue.
And we work through that.
All
When
right.
it comes up, now I'm aware that
All
it's coming
right,
up.
all right.
And
so
revisit
you
and get to
are
the stage.
now no longer left? Or you
no,
said there was 6% remaining?
60. Now there's still a
60?
bit. Yes, there's still a bit, but it's much better than 100. So
Oh, if you say so.
it's improvement.
Oh,
but
all
for me,
right.
it's the choice in the past was not to
May I
for it.
ask you a question?
Of course.
Well, thank you. How do you know it's exactly 60%?
I muscle tested it,
And
and it came out at 60.
And
It's around that, meaning it's
is that the only kind of criteria that you feel you can use to determine what percentage is left?
no. I'm aware that I still have a greater charge on that than I do on the previous one.
Ah.
So I'm aware that I'm still working through those levels.
All right. Now, there's another way to look at it, although you may find this is not to your liking, and if it's not, that's fine.
That means I'm supposed to pay attention to it.
instead of saying 10%, 60%, and again, if you want to maintain that as a way to understand where you feel you're at, that's fine. But I'm just going to give you another suggestion, another idea to think about. You can muscle test this idea if you want. Everything is 100% whatever it is. You are either 100% this or you're 100% that. You're not 60% anything or 10% anything. Now, you can use the 100% to make it seem as if you're 10% this or 60% that, but you're 100% that experience, that scenario is its own reality. Every change is a total change. If in one moment you feel you are 100% this thing you don't prefer, and maybe 3 days later you're only 60% of that thing you don't prefer, those are two completely 100% different realities
I understand
unto
that.
themselves.
No, I understand that.
All right. So, you can sometimes use this idea of measuring yourself and saying, well, 60%, 10%. Sometimes, if you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you can become caught up in that and think that you actually haven't completely and totally changed your reality 100%. It's just that you're defining the new 100% reality as an experience of only having gotten 30% of the way, or 40% of the way, or 50% of the way. But that's a 100% reality.
Right.
And could be seen as 100% this and 100% that. Now, at whatever rate or configuration you feel works for you, defines your process in terms of how you are altering or reconfiguring each of those 100% realities. I'm just reminding you, not telling you you have to do it differently, I'm just reminding you that each of those is a 100% configuration, that's all. And it could be anything you want it to be in that moment if you feel that works for you. Just a reminder. All right?
Right, understood.
Okay.
The first time I measured it was this morning when I was doing my meditation preparing to come for today.
Yes.
And so I was doing a meditation on what core issues right now
Yes.
are presenting themselves.
All right.
And so because I have been working and playing with this for a while,
Yes.
and I was congratulating myself for reacting differently
Yes.
in external situations that brought up that first issue.
All right, very good.
And recognizing with the second issue that there is still a stronger, I still react more often in the old pattern.
All right.
So it's not this magic number that's on the bulletin board that I cross off every day and remeasure it.
All right. And
But-
remember that that's a result of still believing that that reaction serves you best.
Right, I understand that.
All right.
But what did come up as
Yes.
being a stronger, I won't give a number,
Thank you.
a stronger reaction this
But don't let
morning.
me stop you from doing so if you want to.
It's fine.
All right.
And it ties back into, Joseph was talking about the fear of death.
Yes.
Consciously,
Yes.
I don't feel I have a fear of death. I've done a lot of work through my meditation. When my father died, there was a lot of
All right.
celebration.
All right.
But what's come up is not feeling safe being in my power,
Oh, all right.
not
Yes. Feel whatever you wish to feel. That's part of the release.
sorry,
Oh, no. Please do not apologize.
not being safe, allowing my light to shine.
All right. What kind of definition do you believe you have that makes you feel you are not safe using your full power? What do you think will happen if you do?
Well, I've gone through that process, and
What do you think will happen if you do?
what happens is I get a physical sensation
Yes.
where my third eye just locks up, and it is so tight and painful. It's like someone's
So do you think the ego thinks that in order to do that, it must die, and it's afraid to do that? Because it equates that change with annihilation?
I think that's part of it. I think part of it was sexual abuse as a child.
All right.
And although I have done a lot of healing on that,
There is
I
obviously
feel like
more
there's
to
more
do.
levels.
Yes.
I also,
One moment. One moment.
thank you.
Take a deep breath.
I also,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
sorry.
whoa, 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 whoa. One moment, one moment. No talking for the moment. Just sit with it. Just stand, sit, be with it. Just stay where you are. Just feel it. Allow yourself to feel the experience of the devaluation that was the experience you had of the abuse. The devaluation. Just let that feeling move through you. Feeling devalued, discounted, used, made to feel less than, made to feel unworthy, made to feel like nothing, no thing. Annihilated, annihilated, fragmented, fractured, annihilated. Now, even with all those feelings, underneath all that, just have the simple feeling of recognition that you still exist. You exist. And that can never change. And under that, feel that if you do exist, then the unconditional love and support of all that is must be yours, or you wouldn't exist. Just feel that recognition that your existence and anything you want your experience of your existence to become is unconditionally loved and supported by the very fact that you exist. Let that unconditional love become as real as you can, even if it's only 1%. Just recognize that if you didn't have the unconditional love and support of all that is, you would not be able to exist even for a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a second. But since you do exist and are feeling all these things, telling yourself, showing yourself, proving to yourself through these feelings and experiences that you do in fact exist, oh yes, then know at least that underlying all those experiences that you are working to transform is the very fact that the reason you exist at all is because you have the absolute and unconditional support and love of all that is, and you can do anything you want with that. And you deserve it, or you wouldn't exist. And that's how much you are loved. You are so loved, so unconditionally supported and loved, that you even are allowed to have experiences that are unpleasant for you, are devaluing. You can have an experience of being devalued because you are allowed to have any experience at all, because you are totally supported and cannot be destroyed, cannot be annihilated. You will always exist no matter what. And that means you will always come through it into another experience. Because while the first law is that you exist, and the second is that the one is all and the all are one, and the third is that what you put out is what you get back, the fourth is that change is the only constant, except for the first three laws. And so everything changes, as you are changing now, but we just want to remind you that the reason that you have the experience at all is because you are unconditionally supported and loved and can do anything you wish with that. And we simply would like to remind you to take that to heart, even with all of what you might be going through. Do your best to remember that and let that make a difference in your re-evaluation and revaluation of yourself. Can you do that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does this help you?
It does. I have one more question.
Yes.
Which may be the same answer. I understand that.
All right.
Is it important for me to find out if there was anything other than the sexual abuse? I understand that the healing is the same as what you've just said,
Yes.
but
Is it important to get in touch with a specific incident?
no, that's not it. I also have the sense that there may have been something directly related to the light that wasn't sexual abuse, whether it was psychic or something else.
In what way? Can you be more
Yeah,
specific?
I have no memory of being abducted, but I've had healers say there have been implants, and I don't have a fear of extraterrestrial beings.
But you're asking the question.
But I'm asking the question only because of what happens to me physically when I get close to these places, and I realize that some of it is the ego. Is that all it is, or is there something else?
No. Let us explain a little bit. There are similar vibrations only because of the shift that, in a sense, you go through in those times. One of the reasons why our civilization and other civilizations do not come full force into a landing on your planet is that we understand that we represent a completely different dimensional vibration than you do. And we understand that our dimensional vibration, because in a sense, no judgment intended, we are operating on a more holistic level, is somewhat, shall we say, more amplified, magnified, or powerful than you believe yours is.
Right.
And in your belief that yours is a lower vibration, it allows something to happen wherein if we come face to face with you before you're ready, if you immerse yourself in our vibration before you are ready to handle that level of vibration, our vibration can overwhelm yours and force, in a sense, you toward an integration with aspects of yourself you may not be ready to integrate, and that can cause great paralysis and fear. In what are the so-called abductions, which is a different matter altogether with regard to the beings doing that, you are shifted interdimensionally, and that interdimensional shift has a similar effect to what I just described. In shifting interdimensionally to have those experiences, in a sense, more of you is forced into your consciousness. You become more aware of more of yourself, including parts you may not be willing or ready to integrate. And that causes a great amount of fear and paralysis. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So, in a sense, it's a side effect of the shifting, and until such time as more integration takes place, it may then, afterward, you will find, relax, and there will be less fear. But until such time, anytime you approach that vibration, there will be a little bit of trepidation because you associate that shift with being forced to face things you may not be fully integrating yet. But take your time. Those things happened in your life to give you a clue. You can use them this way, to give you a clue as to how to sense when you are approaching issues that require integration. You can use that also as a measurement barometer. Does this help? Does it make sense?
It does.
Yes. Where does that take you then?
Well, I think because I believe, that if there was an abduction, it was a contract. I don't believe that it was a forced, so I do.
All things on a certain level are a contract. But also understand there are from time to time things that are not necessarily consciously understood between the beings that are interacting about that contract. And it doesn't necessarily excuse that something might be done to you in a way that is not necessarily representative of your preference. It is the duty of all the beings in the contract to come to the conscious awareness of how the interaction could possibly take place in a manner that is more representative of your preferred vibration. But that doesn't always happen because the beings involved in the abductions are not necessarily as evolved as you think.
Understood.
They are also not necessarily exactly what you call extraterrestrials.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, because in my toning work and my healing, I have a connection with ETs, galactics, cosmic,
yes.
whatever. It's a very
yes.
strong connection, and it's
Yes.
a very heartfelt connection, and
Yes.
it's a very loving connection.
Yes.
And I have a lot of trust in that connection.
All right.
So I guess just if you can give me a bit of advice when this reaction happens in my body, and
Yes.
it's a very physical
Oh
reaction.
yes, absolutely.
And it's more painful
Breathe,
than,
yes,
than,
breathe
than
through
fear.
it. Breathe through it. And as you breathe, with every breath, remind yourself you are willing to go into the experience, but you will go in on your own terms.
Okay. Because I've tried breathing through it, I've tried ignoring it, I've
yes,
tried
it's
forcing
not
it.
just
I've
the
tried-
idea of breathing.
Right.
It's breathing to center yourself to the point where you are making a declaration that you are willing to do this, but you're also putting out that you're going to do it on your own terms. And making that declaration will allow them to begin to respond in another way. Do you follow me?
Yes, thank you very much.
Also.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a favorite flower?
Yes.
What?
A bird of paradise?
Does it have an aroma?
Not really.
Do you have a favorite flower that has an aroma?
I don't think a lily of the valley does either.
You want to stick to the bird of paradise?
Yes.
All right. I would suggest that you have a bird of paradise in whatever area it's most likely that this experience may happen, so that when you gaze upon it, you remember that that's what you are.
Right.
And that you take that vibration into your breathing, into your understanding of what terms are correct and appropriate for you in the engagement.
So I'm willing to engage on my own terms.
Yes, and use the bird of paradise to remind yourself that that symbolizes the appropriate vibration you want to remain in while carrying out whatever agreements you may have made.
Thank you, Bashar.
All right?
Blessings.
And there will be help from other sources as well. All right?
Is that just a tease?
No. Well, I can't tell you much more about it.
know,
I'm
thank
just
you.
assuring you you're not alone.
Right. Thank you, Bashar.
All right. What is your time frame for the remainder of this segment?
It's 3:20, so I'm not sure.
All right.
We have an hour
Yes, understood.
without the break.
Understood. So at this timing, we sense that you will take a short break. Again, quickly refresh yourselves, and we will resume contact shortly. Thank you.